quick note before I get started on our organization. Today, we're providing services for the mass transportation by trains and buses in Germany. And we're lucky that although we had a monopolistic situation quite a couple of years ago, that we still have 2/3 of market share. But as with most of our companies providing services in the transportation business, we suffered quite a bit from the pandemic situation. Anyway, I was asked to talk about the changing role of IT and FP&A. And when I was initially thinking about a presentation, I immediately had two questions on my mind. The one was if that digital transformation in our companies, if that triggered the development of our FP&A beyond the business unit focus. And then there was a second question, what is actually our FP&A community expecting from IT? Personally, my first touch point with big data and analytics for more mature FP&A happened 5 years ago. And when I look back at this, my goal was then that I wanted to set up a digital X-ray machine. So to say something that assisted me and looked more like a bionic structure, a robot suit for our company. And this new paradigm, I think, is definitely powered by technology, but at the same time, harnessed by people. And it blends that new technology with human capabilities to bring innovation, advantage, growth, and efficiency, but also resilience. And in the light of the pandemic, it's never been clearer to me that companies need to be able to learn quickly, to be more resilient to shocks, and to adapt in the face of adversity. There is, to me, an accelerated need today, not simply to make standalone digital improvements, but to intentionally combine human and technological capabilities. And with this, I'd like to move on to my next slide, because to achieve this and explore its full potential, technology must be combined with the flexibility, with our adaptability and comprehensive experience of us humans. But if you ask me for a formula for putting them all together, like in a recipe book, it's neither immediately evident to me, nor is it easy to implement. But thinking back, one of my early challenges was to improve driver-based planning and analysis of an operative unit. And we noticed at the very forefront, we had operational staff deciding on the well-being of our company's earnings. For example, by dispatching staff, setting up crew rosterings, and managing contract obligations, which, for example, required a minimum quota of train attendance by our staff. And any shortfall of this quota, for example, led to, and today still leads to, high penalty payments. We were keen to learn more about this process and then started analyzing that situation. But quite soon, as FP&A, we learned that our spreadsheets wouldn't work. And our dispatches at the moment of deciding would have to analyze 20 million data sets in a split of a second, just imagine. So the recap of our situation, when I think back, it leads me to stress the point that data specialists need to be on board when you link your FP&A routines for deeper insights with the operational cause, and when you run your analysis, and when you want to detect movements of your true value drivers. It's all about big data. So we started hiring such specialists, and I'd recommend that you do that too. But don't expect to hire just IT staff and they immediately start working. Oh no. In a few cases, this might work when your IT programmer has large abilities, like to easily connect with people, or has high communication, interpersonal skills, commercial awareness, plus leadership and organizational strength. That usually describes the role of the FP&A. But any skill of the before said when that's missing and you need a new role, that's probably your business analyst on your team. Of course, we usually say as FP&A staff, well, we are a true business analyst. But are we the ones who are able to describe the needs, the requirements, up to the point of ready to code? No, I wouldn't say so. Well, needless to say that any initiative of tackling that sea of data, the profiles that you need, are anything from data engineering for the onboarding of data, for example, up to big data scientists, and they will be crucial for your success. On my next slide, I'd like to highlight that along your journey with your enriched team, you will quite soon learn about that importance of reliable, safe, and secure data. And why do I especially stress on this? Well, today it's accepted wisdom that data and analytics provide essential and a very essential tool in your competitive differentiation. And leading companies still want to improve cost performance and increase revenues, but they have adopted advanced analytical methods and really high performance data handling capabilities. Because only with this you will be at your competitive edge. Many of us have started small with early wins, but the question is, how are we going ahead for scaling those wins? And with this, it comes soon to the point that you need a full set of high quality data. The buzzword for this is called data governance. And for achieving your success in today's race, your company will be the one who needs the best quality in data and capabilities, and then it can win. So data governance helps you to ensure that top-notch data quality. But why is data quality important at all? Well, if you prefer to make a decision on accurate, complete, consistent, and accessible data, well, then you definitely have to take very good care not only of the technology, but also of your organizational elements, because that is where data quality happens. And good data matters, not at least for compliance or operational excellence. It's unlocking the value of your data to make sure that your operative processes get monitored with respect to your quality of data. Especially when you derive data out of applications which still receive their input from, I usually say that, biomechanical interface, the people tackling information, then you need to achieve trustable data by taking a very close look at the overall process reliability. Now I've come to my very last slide. You probably all noticed that we've come to a point where the human mind gains of importance, not only by measuring the key quality indicators. People participating in that process, they might not immediately understand their new role as data manager. And they might not buy the benefit of their new responsibility. So I guess it's quite superfluous to give you a deep dive on this, but it definitely needs a proper change management here. Nevertheless, I'd like to share my experience on our journey with you, and I remember that the buy-in of very skeptical colleagues happened by making them part of our success story. In our data community meetups, for example, we asked them to share their experience with others who were less advanced on their journey. And in addition, we also had to open up a new intranet channel where we launched news feeds, sharing quotes, making people along the process more visible, and attaching a face to that stride. So you already can follow probably that communication as vivid as possible became our key to reach the hearts and minds. But sure, we're still in the middle of our strenuous process, far from reaching the end. But today there is a data management team no longer part of the FP&A, but we separated it out to the Chief Digital Officer's organization. But we made sure that linking the two together with a third party, the operative units, makes us successful. So I can only give you a very good promise that the sooner you get started and embrace your organization, you'll probably get very, very soon rewarded for all your efforts.